outpouring of support for Walia Mwamba by members of the Patriotic Front. Ever since he appeared this morning at the joint investigative team, and when he was brought here, he has been escorted by a large number of members of the Patriotic Front. I'm also extremely happy by the conduct of the members who have come to escort Geoffrey Walia Mwamba. What we were used to in the past is that when a political leader is arrested, you would have found multitudes of cadres, hooligans making noise, pelting people, and so on and so forth. There is a big difference with the manner in which PF members are supporting each other. They are acting in a very orderly manner, in a very cordial manner. This is a show of maturity on the part of the PF members, and I want to thank them most sincerely for coming out to support their brother, their colleague. I've been informed by Geoffrey Walia Mwamba that he has been slapped with more than 19 charges, all of them to do with abuse of office. And I believe that there are also a few to do with money laundering. It is, however, very disappointing that on matters that are bailable, Geoffrey Walia Mwamba has been denied bond. He has not committed treason. He has not been involved in any terrorist act. He has been charged on an offense which is highly bailable. And the ordinary thing would have been for the police to grant him bond. The fact that they have denied him bond is denying him his freedom, unduly so. And when we say that Zambia is speedily becoming a police state, this is exactly what we mean. It is very clear from the conduct of police officers that they are looking over their shoulders to receive decisions that are being made, not by themselves, but by the people above them. We want to just remind everybody that what goes round comes around. And when you sow a seed of discontent, it is bound to germinate. And once it germinates, it becomes a tree. Remember, the biggest tree, the mustard tree, is sowed by a small seed. So when things like this happen, you should know that we made a mistake in August 2021. Thank you very much.
The leader of the opposition, they continue the arrest of opposition political leaders.
Well, first of all, this is a waste of productive hours and productive time. The crime rate has gone up on account of poverty levels. We should put the police to good use. They should be combating crime instead of these trumped up charges that we're experiencing every day.
1 year already gone.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yes, I'm saying this is just a waste of productive hours. You know, even for the police, it's a waste of resource. We are seeing this happen every day. The president has been out there to assure the Zambian people that he's going to do things differently. And one of his undertakings has been such that if you are charged with a bondable offense, you'll be given bond within 2 hours. But we don't know now who's telling the truth between the police and the president. Or is it that the president has no command over the police? Because the police are doing or acting contrary to what the president says. The president, being a commander-in-chief of defense forces, when he makes a statement, first of all these, including the police, should obey those commands. What is surprising in this country today, under the new Dawn government, is that the president's commands are disobeyed willy-nilly. Or is it that there is some whisper after he makes a statement where he goes and says, forget about what I said, continue persecuting these people? Yeah, but one thing for sure that we'd like to tell the Zambian people is that all these maneuvers are only making us strong, because by now the Zambian people know the truth, that there is no fight against corruption. What is there is political persecution. If there was a fight against corruption, we would have seen investigations going into the fertilizer scandal, you know, where fertilizers were procured through single sourcing and very expensively. If there was a fight against corruption, we would not be told about private meetings in lodges in the Lower Zambezi committing this government. If there was a genuine fight against corruption, we will not see people rewarding vendetta after buying Mahindra vehicles for UPND and then being rewarded back with a mine, if there was a genuine fight against corruption. So for the Zambian people, open your eyes, open your ears. The real fight that we should have today as politicians, as leaders, is a fight against poverty. I think what the Zambian people are interested in are solutions to the poverty levels that we are experiencing currently, not what we're being treated to.
Yeah, and a quick one. As leader of the opposition, soon we'll go into another budget presentation. I don't know how you would rate the previous budget before the presentation of a new one.
Well, first of all, there has to be something to rate. There's nothing to rate so far. I'm a member of parliament from Porokoso, as you know, also leader of opposition. None of my members of parliament have come to confirm that there's been any disbursement of CDF to our members or citizens. There's been rhetoric where everything else was referred to CDF. But today, we're in June, going towards the third quarter of the year. No single cooperative has accessed any empowerment fund. No single youth group has accessed any empowerment fund. And yet, the stories out there were that we had a solution for the many challenges in our constituencies through CDF. So if you talk about citizens submitting to the new budget, that's a mockery. I think that is a mockery. We need to be serious as a country. So far, the current budget, there's nothing that has happened under the current budget. You know, have you seen any infrastructure project? No. Have you seen empowerment programs? No. And yet, we should go out there in the media to start talking about submissions to the 2023 budget. That is a mockery. We have said this time and again that governance is a very complicated science, and you also ought to listen. We want the New Dawn government now to sit down, even as we go to Parliament, and listen. What we told them about CDF is what they have come to realize. And we are happy that members of cabinet, members of the UPND themselves have confirmed that there are complications to do with CDF. In short, it's a failed project. When we talked about free education, which they were preaching all over, we said it was going to be a failed project for one reason. When you are implementing government policy, there is what we call a regulatory impact assessment. You carry out an assessment, meaning that if there was prudence and diligence in implementing that particular policy, somebody somewhere must have known, should have known, that there was need to increase the number of classroom blocks. So what we have now is quantity education and not quality education. We have pupils crammed up in classrooms where the teacher can't even turn, the teacher can't even look at his pupils, and yet we are happy celebrating that we have free education. So even for parents, they are now having to gauge whether they should continue sending their children to government schools or go to private schools, because there's really nothing that is going to happen. The foundation of these pupils is totally eroded. So if you were to rate the performance of the New Dawn government, they've been singing about two things. It's been free education and CDF. And these two programs have totally collapsed, and there's no exaggeration to that. So to be asked to talk about the 2023 budget really is a mockery. We want to call upon our colleagues to be serious, sit down and begin to govern. As we go back to Parliament, we'll use the experience that we have, the experience that we use to build schools, the experience that we use to build infrastructure in the road sector, in the health sector, in the communication sector, to now help our colleagues so that they can do something tangible. We've had so many statements coming from our colleagues with their project of the Pent PF Black project. But Zambians are not interested now, because Zambians now can compare. How did the PF perform in the first 9 months, in the first 12 months, compared to what our colleagues have done? So let's not even start that topic about the 2023 budget. First of all, let us come out clean on the challenges that we've had on the 2022 budget and then continue to have.